Good morning, everybody. So, first and foremost, I'll try not to slurp as much. Apparently, it's very annoying, but I need my coffee in the morning. So, we're going to have to make do. We're all going to have to find compromises. So, let's just get right into what's going on out there. I mean, I'm just going to jump into names and then just start throwing them out so we can cover as much ground as possible. So, this is Tesla, and this is breaking down, right? We can see that this is breaking down. I have the pre-market data on just so we can run through more faster because I know a lot of people are very tense this morning with what they're saying. We're obviously not overtly surprised by this. I mean, we've been talking about this for some time. So just FYI. But as you're seeing here, as to what's going on, for me, I just think that you need to really watch this because this can get very ugly very, very fast. If I break the 200-day, which I look like I'm going to do, the upper trend line in the 50, you have three different groups of people that were using this as their stop level, right? And they're seeing this morning. That's not what that's not a ringing endorsement to buy it. You have a hump, right? If you count from 80 down to the 20, it's 40, 50 points. You should be using percentages instead. But what that could easily do is get you to 600, 585. I actually think you could head to this 540 very quickly. There's also a very good article out today on this name, and I'm not advising anyone to go near any of the Chinese names, but there's a very interesting article about how their low-cost car EV in China is taking hold. So that's not the greatest news for Tesla as well. So that's it. Hey, Tom. Hey, good morning, Landon. All right, let's jump right into it. Amazon. So this is one that we had in the newsletter and ran up. Some people got stopped out at 36.40. Others got out at 35.88. Clearly, you just have rejection, right, at this point. And it's just people raising capital. I mean, that's really what you see going on right now. You just see people raising capital, and you're going to have to watch how long this continues. Now, you could see some kind of bounce off the open here, but if I broke this 35.12 level, I'd be out. And here, I want to just show this, and I'm going to show this on a weekly very quickly. So, and let me just throw this in there so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So here's the 3,500 level, which if you break that, you have to watch this 35.52. Breaking that is not good. So you should not be below this 35.52. That means that you have another 50 points. It's a $3,500 stock. So, but that means you're heading to here. And this is a little reversal here. So just watch yourself. I would not be chasing this here. I would be protecting my capital for sure on that. Morning, Nicholas. Hey, you two. All right. Can you do shop? Yeah, let's get into it. So shop. I mean, this was just a monster winner, and this is the weekly chart. Now you can see on the weekly chart, right? You just have this flag. Here's your flagpole, and here's your flag, right? Let's go look at the daily. So see this line? I always leave these in. People think you shouldn't, but I see how it respects it. It's always very interesting for me to watch when things pull back. Here's the bottom line with this. Breaking this 435.18, right? You can actually argue that your stop now is this, right? Because that's the hammer, right? See how you have the wick here and then the hammer, and you have like your little morning stars completed. But with this hammer here, okay, what I'm looking for and where my issue is that now that this is completed, this low becomes the new low. Well, either way, I'm breaking that, right? So I'm at 418 right now. So to me, this is breaking. Now, where does that mean? Well, there's nothing in here to hold it. And if we really want to dig into this and you want a snapshot of who's where, right? Volume by price gives you a snapshot, and you can see clearly over here, right, that when you're in this level, you're in a vacuum. So this vacuum could take you to very quickly. It could do this, get to 1321. I mean, you have to remember, this stock is volatile. So you can see a pullback like that. I'd be very careful. I wouldn't be adding to that today. Hey, Jared, I mean, candidly, we've been, I've been out of this market for a while. I don't know that I would be shorting here. Let's go through the IWM, right? The reason I say that is I think the time to short was last week. And now what you want to do is short into rallies, but everybody's going to be looking at that game. So the game just got a little harder. So I'd be looking at individual names versus indexes because I think you can make way more money there. I think the indexes can go up and some stocks can actually come down when this correction's over. And we're not anywhere near that yet, but just FYI. So I think the IWM, like I see this long trend line right here. See how you're breaking here? Like you're breaking through support today. You're breaking that trend line today. If you close below this and you don't rally, you're going to here. And that's not going to be pretty. Like that, it really isn't. Could you short on that? I mean, you'd have to short the rally, right? And I would short using TNA. And this is usually a precursor. Like just so you understand that this is the 3X ETF. If you want a precursor on what's going to happen to the Russell, you can use TNA because it is an exacerbated move and you can see how it's breaking the 200. When you see this, that lets you know that this IWM has a shot at breaking this 200, which just gets you to like 202, which is just really nasty stuff. So, you're looking at a 2-3% drop. So if you get that 2-3% drop, this should drop 10%, right? So that would be another 7 points from here. And that would get you to about, you could easily get down there, right? Easily. I mean, you can see these levels. So I'd be cautious there. As far as the Dow, I don't really play with the Dow too much. You can short it if you want. Your breaking point of control right here, and you're breaking the 50-day. I mean, it's not where you want to be. If you were to count this off, you would draw a wedge line here, right? Just a back of the envelope kind of thing. And you would say that we're going to go to 33, 32. So, that's 10 points, 3%. And that's really standard across the board when I'm seeing 2 to 4% corrections. So let's take a look at AAP. So AAP. So advanced auto parts. I mean, this should actually benefit, but it doesn't seem to be. You seem to be just people taking profit. So what you could look at here is you could throw in your 21-day and your 8 and get more color on what's going on here. And you can see how you're hitting your 21-day off your 8. So if I broke this 21-day, you're probably done for a while. Usually when it breaks that 21-day, like it did here, you back off and consolidate before going higher. I don't know your time frame. And sometimes I get a false positive like here, but the majority of times when it breaks, like it broke here, you can see how it rolls back down. It broke here. You can see how it rolls back down. So it does respect that 21-day. So if I broke below that, I have to be willing to get to the 50-day. If I'm not willing to get to the 50-day, I have an issue. And I would argue that it probably should respect the 50-day, whether it trades below it and then bounces back, but it should get up there and you should be fine there. You're welcome, Landon, anytime. BON and TFII. All right, let's do it. So BON. So bond natural life. So I don't have 30 days here. So what I like to do when I don't have 30 days is I like to get 30 data points. So I'm going to get rid of this pre-market stuff for a minute. It doesn't really look like it's overtly affecting me. So this is just the hourly chart on BON. Okay. It's because I have more data this way. I have more data points. So it's easier for me to understand what's going on here. And you can see why this is kind of pertinent, right? So if I go to this chart, and I'm just going to give a quick lesson versus this chart. Like this is not very telling, right? But look what happens when I drop to this chart and I have 30 data points. That's pretty telling what's going on, right? It's pretty telling on where my key level is, isn't it? Like your key level is 1459 on that stock. You're holding the 8 hourly moving average fairly well, and you're forming a flag. If I wanted to buy this, I would simply look for some kind of move above this 1579. You could actually argue that you just want to just wait for this and just call it a day as soon as it triggers 16. Let's make sure we're right there. 1598. So triggering 16 gets you active. This is going to be your next position where you're going to have an issue, 1760. Through that, you should be good. Breaking the bottom of this flag would be my stop. That's how I would look at that one. TFII. TFII. Let's get to the daily on this. So I like this from the standpoint of I have this huge base, right? I'm above all my volume, which is really where you want to be. And look where you're at. You're sitting right on that level. So there's your stop. I mean, it's a pretty easy trade to read, right? I mean, your stop's right there. So just consider that. I wouldn't be buying this here. I don't know what we look like pre-market. Let's take a look. Yeah, I wouldn't be buying this here because of the bearish engulfing, how this one bar encapsulates this one. I wouldn't be buying it here, but I'd be using that as my stop. So I hope that's clear. Hey, good morning, Adam. Morning, Ro. Up anytime. Anything running this morning? Anyone? I mean, Tom, the only thing that I'm looking at are like staples, REITs. And I think that unless you want to play the shorter term time frames, just stay out of the way. Let this do what it's going to do. Let's take a look at this. Not a stock, but catalyst. In your opinion, what will set off the next leg up? Earnings. The next leg up, I don't think that you're going to see a rate cut or anything like that anytime soon. I think what's got people very concerned is that you're seeing people respond to this variant and not have a plan in place again. So you're seeing people say, well, this could affect the cruise lines. This could affect this again. We just went through this a year ago. Is this going to be the standard move now for the market? Like every time something's out there that we're just going to sell off? I don't have an answer to that, right? But what I do know is instead of looking at what's going to make us reverse and go up, what's the next leg, I would argue that maybe you should be thinking just a little bit differently and thinking what's going to make us stop going down, right? So what's going to make this market stop going down? If we get fears of this Delta variant affecting the economy again, what is going to drive this from going down? And that's really what you have to look at. Like you can see all these economy stocks, right? They're just imploding. This is jets. So I would argue what's going to make it stop going down. You have a Fed that's basically, they say they have unlimited bullets, but okay. The inflation trade is clearly over. I mean, you can see that stuff kind of imploding, right? So, I mean, this is the next group that's going to wind up dropping on it is steel, especially if you don't get an infrastructure bill. I mean, you can see how these are rolling. So I would argue what's going to stop making it go down before I'm even concerned about what makes it go up. I hope that's clear, Marty. So that's really where I'm at. So, I mean, just keep throwing out names of stocks that you're interested in. I know you want to do more of a group thing. If you want to do more of indexes, just let me know. I'll cover all the indexes. For those that are short NVIDIA, your next level is the 698.25, which is your 50-day. See how this is just falling off a cliff? There's no hurry to cover this. If in the first 15 minutes you take out that higher high and you're short, you probably just want to be out of it. So, you really have to see how we trade. Are they just going to shake everybody out today and then run them back up and then sell down later in the day? That seems to be how we're setting up here. That really seems to be how we're setting up. So of all the stocks that I'm focused on, it's the vaccine stocks. They seem to have the highest relative strength right now. So hope that's clear. So let's do, this is true. What do I think about Walmart? I think Walmart could benefit again from this because they benefited last time. So that could break this. I've been watching this trend line and you could break this trend line and get to that 153 level. I mean, it just takes forever for the stock to move and you're above point of control, but you really have to get above this 142.58. I've been watching it. I think it's acting very, very well. Facebook, Facebook to me has some real issues here because let's get rid of this for a moment. See this break, right? Say you broke out here and then you ran and then you tried bonk, couldn't get through it, came back down, retested bonk. So it's telling you there's a seller right up here, isn't there? And that seller has decided, or sellers has taken it all the way to the breakout bar. Now, you didn't really get this understanding Friday, but you sure got it today. Okay. I'm breaking the major channel. Okay. I'm breaking my channel from February. This is not where you want to be. Now, if you take a look, there's another major channel down here. Okay. That you're not even remotely close to, but you could get to that. So I would be very apprehensive here to be long this. This is a long way down. This is just, that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. We're just breaking, right? We're just starting to break. So keep that in mind. We're not, it's not like we're towards the tail end of the break. We just caught the break almost perfectly, frankly. Bitcoin, I would not go near. If Bitcoin was an inflationary trade because inflation was out there, then the people are just going to sell it. To me, let's just play devil's advocate. Okay, let's look at this chart. Let's say that the name of this wasn't Bitcoin. Would you buy this? Right? Like you wouldn't go near this. So, sometimes it's best to just look at charts and not even look at the names. I do that sometimes. But 28,461, boom, 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 boom. You need to hold there. To me, this rally here was a clear indication that when we failed that this was toast, right? Because here's my bear flag. I flag out. I try to break above the bear flag. I'm completely rejected. Test the low, tries to rally. This is all I can muster, this little move. And now I'm getting this again. So to me, and I try not to turn it into this, but I can't get above point of control. I can't stay above the 8-day, the 21, the 50, 200. I try not to make this a crypto, channel on purpose. But to me, if I was looking at this, which I do look at this and I do take positions in this, talk to me when you're at 20, when we're at 20,000, maybe I'll pay attention to it. Maybe I'll pay attention to it. I'll have to see how it acts then. But I'm in no hurry. And just like this one, since we're doing them, I'll do this as well. I like this one actually more. And I'm right here. I'm right at point of control. I'm below all my moving averages. I mean, this is telling me that I'm going lower. So I think it's best to listen. So V, let's do V. So these stocks actually, in my opinion, should be doing a little bit better on this. So I actually am hoping that this pulls back down to that 237 range, right? Gets to that upper channel that it's been respecting, that trend line, and then I get an opportunity to buy this. It's just a slow grinding stock, but it will grind higher. And I think that that's what you're going to see here. Interest rates rising really, I mean, it does affect them to an extent, but just over the board, I mean, they're getting a piece of every single transaction if you're using a debit card or whatever. So, I mean, it's just a cash cow as far as the business. Let's take a look at Docu. So 290s was our level, right? So I talked about this the other day. I was in this in my newsletter, and I didn't do well. It broke out. It failed. We were up, we were up 10 points for a very short period of time, and then we weren't. And then we broke back down, and then we broke the 8, right? And you could see something as simplistic as using the 8 as your stop. What could have happened here? And then, I wanted to give it to the 21. Boom, the 21 broke. What's important to see what's going on here is this breaking down, this rolling. We're getting to that channel and we're rolling and we're hitting the 21 and the 8. I like this name a lot. I would not touch that. That's a long way down to here. If we're going to start playing the at-home stocks again, which I am not going to recommend that we do at this particular time, I mean, they can all correct. They're all setting up to correct. They're all breaking that trend line. They're all trying to rally back over it. They're all failing and coming back down. And you're seeing that across the board. That's what's so interesting about this. It's not like you're seeing the at-home names rally, right, on what's going on out there. Look, this broke the 200 again. This broke the 8. This broke the 21. You're sitting on the 50. I mean, to me, this is like a perfect short. Get below that 50, and you're probably going back down to here to 80. So I would not be playing with the at-home names. So let's just keep going. I think that this keeps running. So, Gotham, I think I answered this. If I didn't and you want more clarification, just let me know, buddy. Myrna, I do think Myrna keeps running. I think you have to be very careful the way you play it. Like, so for me, what I'm hoping, and again, I'm hoping is that I sell down. I'm hoping that I get back to that 272 level, which was support. And I sell down. That's what I'm hoping. I don't know that that's going to happen today. I'm not sure what's going to happen today, right? Nobody knows. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen off the open. For what's going on, I'm actually surprised that this is even down. If people are that concerned about the Delta variant and they're talking about booster shots in China, I am surprised this is get down. But when people want to raise cash and they're getting hit, they just blow out everything and then they regroup, right? There's no thinking. They just raise cash. So I do think that it could keep running. Yeah, I'll cover BNTX, Alex. Absolutely. So let's do BNTX now, since I have it up. So here, I mean, for those that follow or get the newsletter, there it is, 219. That's where we're in at. And the stop has just been moved back up to our break even. But look, here's my channel. I'm raking my channel. I'm above the 50. I'm above the 8. I'm above the 21, right? I should get to this level. Now, whether or not I do in this tape, I have no idea. But overall, I like this. Now, if I am to break this low of 222.35, that's not going to be great. That's probably going to get me stopped out of the trade. But you need to let this thing play out a little bit and see what's going to happen here. I'm not absolutely convinced that these lows, the open for this sector may be the low, is my sense. But I don't know that. So I would sit there and tell you that you have to watch and wait. But I like those trades a lot. I mean, they're the ones I'm focused on out of everything. Nike, I think any pullback on Nike is probably a buying opportunity. This is not going to go away. Their business clearly on that earnings call was firing on all cylinders. People couldn't get in this fast enough. So, I mean, you would just really use the 150 level as a stop, but any bounce down on this, like where you're opening down, they're telling you you're going to open down 3. I mean, that's a big downward move for Nike, 3 points. So you could see that come back and bounce. But you're really going to have to just watch the open, and see how ugly it gets and just use, your trading system. But for me, what I would just say is if I was in this, if I took out that low, the 151, I think that has to be your stop. I mean, I really do, because you could fill this gap in and nobody wants to be around for that. Right. So, Zebra, let's do Zebra and NEE. So Zebra's sitting right at 516.76, and let's see where it is now, 510. Yeah, you're breaking your 21 day here, and you broke this major support level. I would not be in this. I'd be very careful. I could easily get to 507, and I can get to this trend line and point of control at 500. So I would not be holding that and holding my breath. NEE, I like this trade. And if we were in a better tape, I would be looking at this. To me, you need to break above that level right now. We can even get rid of this just to make it easier on the eyes. I'd be waiting to get above that level now. That's what I'd be looking for. I like how everything's curving up. I like how the volume was actually picking up here, the green volume. This is pointing higher. It's pointing towards this. So that tells me I'm getting the 81. So I like that trade a lot. I just don't know how it's going to work in this environment. So let's get rid of that. So let's see DRV. Let me take a look at DRV. So DRV, I mean, the real estate bear, I wouldn't be going near this. Stuff like this, I just don't play. It's just, they're just too thin. I mean, if I really wanted to be in this and be bearish, like here, look, this is nail. Okay. And this is the home builders. And I think this is levered, but I don't know the leverage of it. I want to say it's 3-1, but I don't think it is. I think it's 2-1, but you'd have to look that up. I don't remember off the top of my head. This to me is something I would do. I would short this versus going long DRV, just because it's going to be so difficult with the spread and everything. So Raphael, I mean, look, let's go through this real quick. Okay. I think energy's toast. I mean, I think that's very clear. If I go to my sectors, right, and just look at what's going on, okay, and I go to just change, the number one group that's down is energy. The only reason when I did that top 12 short list this week that I didn't put energy in is because they're already down so much. But that's a major break on energy. And what you're going to see when we zoom into this is, here's my H. I broke the H on the 50-day. I try to rally back through the 8. I can't rally back up through any of this. The 21 crosses the 50 and off I go. Right now I'm sitting at volume by price VWAP this morning. Not really where you want to be. You break this, that means the majority of people that are in there from this blue line forward are now down on their trade. Once they're down on their trade, this could accelerate, and then this could get to that 46.59 level. I just think it's moved too much too fast, Raphael, and that's the only reason why I wouldn't short them here. So you're welcome, Alex. So you can watch the VIX. I mean, to me, the VIX is so manipulated right now. I don't even pay attention to it, to be blunt. There's too many games with it, options, everybody hedging. So I'm not saying it doesn't have value. It's just not like high on my priority. FIVNTLK. You got it, Ned. I'm going to have to wrap this up fairly soon. So you're sitting right on that moving average, right? You've broken these already. This is rolling down, but you're not really seeing a ton of selling. And it looks like we're gapping up. Maybe there was some news. Was there an event? No, or maybe that's a misprint. Let's just get into this and see what's going on. Let's just look at a 5-minute very quickly. So it looks like we gapped up off the open and now we're back down to this level. I'm not really sure what the news is here. If there is news, it sure looks like something's going on. If we're at 190 up here, if I was up here and I was in this, I would be selling it for sure into this because we've clearly rejected here before. And if I could get that price right now and I was in here in this kind of tape, I would be hitting the bid all day long. Oh, there it is. Bought by ZIM. Thank you. So, or bought by Zoom. Yeah, I mean, usually what happens with these moves, let's get rid of all this, is that you're going to see dilution, right? Because they're going to short one of the names and go long the other one as a hedge. Unless the deal was done in all cash. I don't remember the specifics of it. I've been really busy this morning. If it's an all cash deal, it doesn't matter. So this is the news. If it's an all cash deal, it doesn't matter, right? You can buy the stock. If it's not all cash, you're going to now trade how ZM trades, which means that it could just keep coming down because you're getting to get stock, right? So you have to do the calculation. If someone has the calculation and wants to throw it out, I can do it real quick. So, but I'm not sure of the exact terms. What else do we have? So again, you know, I said this earlier. I'm just going to say it again. You really need to watch what's going on here with the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index. Okay. I mean, this is very telling what's going on with this market right now. It really looks like you're going to break down. Let's get rid of this. So it really looks like we're going to break down here. I really don't see any reason to be chasing anything. This looks like maybe we're trying to find a bid now, and maybe we have it off the open and then it rallies and then we go from there. But you're trying to hold a level. I don't know if we are going to hold that level or not. So just consider that all stock. Okay. If it's an all stock deal, you just look at ZM, figure out the calculation, the spread, and it's going to trade just like ZM. All right. Thanks, AB. So that's all I have, guys. If, let me just jump here. And if you need anything, just reach out, Twitter, Reddit, email. Have a great day, everyone.